Hello, hope you're well. We're gonna look at not a lot of ice because I titled the stream specifically about this iceberg. I wanted to talk about fast ice and penguins, but I can roll that into a different update because there's a lot of fast ice. It's moving too fast. Not able to raise a penguin family on the kind of ice that we're seeing, but we're got satellite pulled up. I was going to hunt around for A23a. In the meanwhile, there are some big icebergs to look at. You can see its wake as the wave pushes all this soft fall ice, fast ice. It has this negative wake effect behind it. You're seeing its trail of not being able to freeze as much. Let's take a look at it with time lapse. Well, there it comes from the bottom, all in one sheet. Let's go up a little bit. Let's go up a little bit. Let's see how. Okay, so it's down here on the 24th. It's down in April. And here, a month later, relatively the same position. Not rotating, it just kind of lofted up north a bit. This is not A23a, but it is another big guy, another big 50-kilometer piece of ice. Pretty close to the south though. Again, we are looking for something that's far away from the polar south, is the Antarctic, because show you on here. I gotta. Getting something. There we go. Just came up here, going around, went out to sea. A24a. I don't know why I reversed the. And that's what we're looking for today. Let's go back one more day. Should just pop right out. Right there. Wow. Still pops out. Looks weathered and sharp, as if waves going over it have been weathering and smoothing it out and creating edges all over it. It is more of a structure of ice than just floating piece of previous Arctic ice. This broke off, I believe, in the 80s. It's been rather unceremonious with its stature until just recently it made this massive, sharp journey north, where it encountered South Shetland Islands and stalled out for a bit, and potentially resulted in an earthquake if this hit those rising seafloors. Eventually, either due to it melting or just slipping away, or rotating away from the South Shetland Islands. Now we find it further north. It's a pretty big deal. Diagonally is 85 kilometers. It's probably one of the biggest pieces of free ice on the planet. We have no idea structural integrity because we have no way of looking underneath it. We can see satellite over it. But how deep does this go? How deep was this before it hit those shallower waters in the South Shetland Islands? Did it calve a piece off? Did it just fracture a piece off? Was it more like a traditional diamond shape? And that whole bottom half of it just got leveled for it to be able to come freely unanchored. It is massive, just how much we don't know about what's underneath. Like, this thing has been always flat, forward facing up, not in any particular direction it spins. But one thing is for sure is that the edging right here, this, you're gonna see some weathering, but definitely don't want this to continue a voyage further north, getting into the South Atlantic. That ocean would eat this thing alive, but I don't think this is any further than the I don't even remember what sea that is. Not Saragossa. I'll think of it. See how much fast ice there is. It's moving too much. It's just a warming Antarctica. Alright, let's back to this. Let's do this. That same so between the 4th and the 9th of May is that we take our hand, go around, goes this way. Spin some 70 degrees or so, I would say. I don't think all this is what we're seeing here and around the iceberg is pieces of this iceberg itself, but they are significant pieces of ice nonetheless. But that's one thing is that we're not seeing is a lot of ice to be able to even get to Antarctica. It is very peculiar just how much further down in the water does this go. It's rotating, spinning. not really stationary, because after the flows that resulted in this getting pushed out of Antarctica, no telling where it's going to go, what sea it's going to get bumped into. It's not the Saragossa Sea. Come back out a little bit. Let's see, let's take it from here. We'll have okay. A little bit more. Too far out. Too far out still. Maximum 60 kilometers. Let's go back a couple of months to February. Yep. So it took 2 months to go the distance from one side of the screen to the other side of the screen. See there, left side. The object in question, this giant iceberg that's having a journey. Very long journey. Again, there's no way of knowing how deep this iceberg goes inside the sea, how fast it could melt. Because if it's it seems relatively staying relatively in the same area, but it's spinning around. Not just staying, it's not stationary at all. After spinning so much, you know, as soon as it gets a straight line to run, it's going to take it. Avoiding those islands, keeping on its way. back to the last day. You see, this is the largest body of fresh water on the planet. So telling. So if the way it's traveling, imagine it has a quite holy bottom if it still remains. If it's the same height equal to what we see on top, even. Because this thing is not flipping around, it's not skidding, it's not going on its side at all. Not turning, it's not turning over, not stopping and going forward, it's not doing any of these maneuvers that would suggest that it has a short underneath. It's definitely at depth what it is above sea level or further. It's just this massive giant piece. We'll know when it eventually does calve, when it just whips through. We would know, especially if it just like broke into two pieces like this and one like that. That'd be extremely helpful. We can't mess with that kind of thing. That would involve a lot of dynamite. And just to get it just split in two, just to be able to get an idea of how deep this iceberg goes. As it makes its way out into different waters, I really can't believe how far this iceberg has come. All the way from I don't know why I put the arrow there. Sorry, it's going north. I don't know why I put the arrow on the south side. Alright. I thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please like the stream, subscribe to the channel. Helps me out immensely and keeps me motivated to continue putting out such fine quality content as this. Thank you. Well, he's stuck up there now. Maybe I should do a stream with just him as my head. We're talking about icebergs. Yeah. Oh. He's black and white just like the photo. The other one's watching me. His little brother is watching me just like, I don't want any of that. Take a look at this a little closer. Looks so flush. Whole north side of it, this whole northeast side. Side. I've lost a tooth, but it's relatively the same shape, condition as it was 2 months ago. And this isn't going anywhere except into warmer waters. This is what we're afraid of. Moments like this that we have to say, well, there could be some sea level rise, especially affecting South America and the west side of Africa. Probably more South America, Brazil, Rio de Janeiro is a lot of severe floodings, and they've been seeing flooding besides the Afghanistan floods and the Brazil floods. It is just record after record is going to be broken this year. It's going to be broken this year from the weather and the flooding. We will see at least two categories of records being broken all across the planet. But most especially, we're going to see probably the most hurricanes. Because you got to think, every time the sea is dredged by fleet line, ocean liner, whatever, or whatever kind of a haul, that kind of fishing like catch, that rips out all the CO2 from the ground floor, and it goes up. Thank you. Love you. And that dredging of our past comes to haunt us because it takes 9 to 10 years for the effects of dredging to be seen, to be experienced. The warmness, all of the carbon that was locked underneath on the ground floor already. Instead, it's being kicked up 9 to 10 years in the atmosphere. It's emissions that we're not counting for that are there now that are causing great dismay. Will it change anything? No. It only changes the minds of no one. No one's going to stop sailing ships, stop driving cars. No one's going to stop flying planes. All these luxuries of the human experience that we have, either they're going to become a lot harder, because instead of 90,000 flights a day, we'll go down to 30,000 flights a day. These severe type of policies need to be made across the board. Just like COVID, everybody wears a mask. Everybody understands, even if they pretend not to understand and claim masks don't work. Where was I? Sorry. Looking weathered. There's good. You can see some lines occurring on the northwest side of it here. There's no, I don't know, it's the 3D architecture of the structure. You call it, it's a super ice structure. If these lines are just ice that's laying side by side, adjacent to each other, or if it's really a plateau coming down and coming down again. Real fascinating, real fascinating. And it's hauling ass is what it is. The saying is getting in the warmer waters faster and faster. Is it highlighting our need for a deeper understanding of climate change and why the things that we're hearing now, you hear this year, you're going to hear this a lot this year. I've lived here for 40 years. I've never seen rain like this before. It's never flooded like this before. You're going to hear that all across the planet. It's not just going to be one location that's special, that It's to avoid the madness and chaos that we've sowed. So if the effects of marine destructive behavior takes time for that carbon, for that dioxide to go from the bottom of the seafloor into our atmosphere, we're not seeing the effects of it just yet. Or we're seeing the effects, but it's literally just ghosts of past trauma. With this melting, it'll increase sea level rise. There's the one main factor that we know is that when water warms, it expands. You take all this cold water, it's ultra concentrated. It's ice. You're gonna melt it, it's gonna expand 3 times as much as it is now, and then depending on where this thing winds up, it can cause a factor of issues. But immediate sea level rise to the area adjacent to where they might be unlucky to find themselves in the gun of this, in this massive 50-mile or 80-kilometer wide iceberg. It is massive, it's huge, it is not stopping for anything. And I don't know if there's a modern way, a way of humankind, if we could pull this back into the Antarctic. It takes the logistics behind moving just a ship that's disabled. I can't imagine what it would take, excuse me, to cause this to reverse course, because I mean, we're speculating now in science fiction. But we take a series of miners and they go through and they mine through and they have holes. There's no way of stopping it. There's no way of slowing it down, and even if there was a way of stopping it, slowing it down, it'd be beneficial to humankind, I'm sorry. So, of course, there's not going to be anything that can be done about it. Even if it is the largest fresh body of water frozen on the planet. It's leaking water out, it's melting from the bottom up, and then top down in the sun. That is A23a. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your interest in this topic. So what led you here? Thank you. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and please like the stream. Helps me out immensely. Right, on that note, thank you. Please take care.